Sebastian is an ordinary bank employee, but he possesses a special talent, the ability to unlock locks in just 8 seconds. Although he posted videos showing off his skills online, no one paid attention. He felt bored with his boring job and boring life. However, everything changed one day when he received a strange comment under his video. The comment read, "Do you want to test your skills? The password to join is Goater Damn Room." When Sebastian saw the words Goater Damn Room, he immediately remembered the legendary story of the safe of locksmith Han Wagner, who locked himself in one of his safes and sank to the bottom of the sea. Opening these 4 sacred safes was Sebastian's lifelong dream. Without hesitation, he decided to participate in the contest mentioned in the comment, hoping to have a chance to try his hand at the legendary safe. However, when he arrived at the competition venue, Sebastian was disappointed to find that it was a secret underground place and there was no Goater Damn Room safe there. However, he did not expect that this competition would change his life. When the competition began, the other contestants quickly rushed to open the lock, while Sebastian was still in a daze. Time passed, and 2 contestants successfully opened the lock. Sebastian decided not to let time pass in vain. He quickly focused and used his skills. In the end, he surpassed his opponents and won 4th place, entering the next round. The second round was tense and dramatic, with more difficult challenges. Finally, Sebastian and another opponent entered the battle for the championship. The referee announced that if neither of them could open the safe, the competition would end in a draw. Sebastian's opponent, a long-haired man, looked smug and had prepared a sound amplifier to assist. However, Sebastian was in no hurry. He took his time, felt the structure of the safe, and successfully opened it at the last moment. The audience burst into applause and cheers. But in the crowd, Sebastian saw a beautiful cold woman who caught his eye. She was Wendelin, the woman who signed Sebastian up for the competition. Wendelin revealed that she was an international jewel thief and wanted Sebastian to join her group. She also revealed that the group's goal was to open the 4 sacred safes of locksmith Han Wagner. After 2 days of thinking, Sebastian decides to join Wendelin's team. He goes to her villa, where he meets the team members: Karina, a talented female hacker, Rolf, a professional driver, and Brad, a martial arts expert. Karina spends 3 years gathering information and eventually finds 3 of Han Wagner's 4 safes. The first is Rigo, currently hidden in a small bank in Paris. It is a safe with a complex locking system with 413 million combinations. Sebastian, now a member of the Wendelin team, sets out to find the legendary safes of locksmith Han Wagner. With the help of Karina, Rolf, and Brad, his team locates three safes, and their first mission is the Rigo safe, hidden in a small bank in Paris. The vault is famous for its incredibly complex locking system, which has 413 million possible combinations. But that's not the only challenge, as the bank is protected by a team of guards and a state-of-the-art security system. To succeed, the team must work closely together and overcome every challenge. Karina spent 3 years studying the vault, gathering all the information she needed. However, she also knew that opening the vault would not be easy, and every decision had to be made precisely. Sebastian felt a little nervous, but also excited. He remembered his lockpicking skills that had helped him win the last competition. However, this was a completely different task, requiring patience, intelligence, and teamwork. The plan was for the group to split into smaller teams to carry out different tasks in the bank. Karina would hack the security system to disable the cameras and lock the doors. Rolf would take care of the driving and create an escape route, and Brad would ensure the safety of the group by handling any unexpected situations. As they approached their target, a sense of excitement filled the air. This was not just a mission to unlock the safe, but also a battle against time and dangerous challenges. Step by step, they entered the bank, each with their own responsibilities, but all united by a common goal: to open the Rigo safe and continue the journey to find the remaining 3 safes. Will Sebastian's group succeed in their first mission? Do you want to continue? However, of the 3 safes, the Rigo is considered the easiest to open. The second safe, named Vikio, is as proud and inviolable as a goddess and is located in a heavily guarded bank in Prague, Czech Republic. It possesses a locking system with a huge number of combinations of up to 235 billion, a number that makes anyone overwhelmed. The third safe, named Siegfried, is like a silent monster, hidden in a casino in Supertown Mortis, Switzerland. It possesses a huge number of locking combinations of up to 73,000 billion, a truly astronomical number that makes people feel hopeless. The fourth safe, Gotterdam Rung, is still silent like a ghost, its whereabouts still a mystery. It is like a mysterious legend full of temptation and challenge, known as the most difficult safe to breach. Time was running out. The group immediately set out to execute their plan. The group of super thieves quickly moved to Paris and secretly hid near the target bank. A dramatic and dangerous mission was about to take place. Sebastian was the first to go out. He would play a key role in this play. Sebastian cleverly disguised himself as a passerby, pretending to be in a hurry, and ran into the bank to relieve himself. Then, he calmly waited for the next command. Soon after, Wendelin appeared with a mysterious appearance, carrying all sorts of things in her hands, and walked into the bank naturally, as if nothing had happened. Taking advantage of the moment when the guard opened the door, she quickly grabbed the keychain from his belt. Wendelin approached the teller, using a fake name she had booked in advance to request the safe to be opened. She easily fooled the teller, who was caught off guard. The teller, without a doubt, led the mysterious customer into the bank vault. Little did she know that she had fallen into a trap that had been set. It was Karina's turn to appear. She approached the teller gracefully, pretending to ask about the services in English. Since the manager did not understand English, he called the teller standing in the lobby for assistance. Taking this opportunity, Karina created the perfect cover for Wendelin. She skillfully stalled for time, chatting with the teller to buy time for her teammates. Meanwhile, Wendelin sneaked out of the vault and went to rescue Sebastian, who was restless in the bathroom. The two of them entered the elevator together and used the security guard's key ring to unlock the button to go down to the basement where the gold vault was located. When the elevator door opened, a dazzling light emitted from the Rigo safe, leaving both of them stunned. The safe appeared magnificent and majestic, like a priceless art treasure, exuding a mysterious and powerful beauty that overwhelmed people. However, instead of immediately opening the lock, Sebastian stood there, mesmerized, admiring the work of art before him. Wendelin impatiently pulled Sebastian out of his trance as time was running out. To add to the solemnity of the event, Sebastian took out his phone and played some epic music. The melodious music echoed in the quiet space of the cellar, creating an interesting contrast to the tense atmosphere. Sebastian pressed his ear to the lock, concentrating on listening to every little change inside the safe, as if he could hear every note coming from every gear moving in this stifling atmosphere. Time seemed to stop. However, after only 2.5 minutes, Sebastian magically opened the safe, like a magician. At that moment, Sebastian was so happy that he trembled, his eyes sparkling with the joy of victory. Inside the vault, cash was piled up, exuding an irresistible charm. But the group only took 2 symbolic bags of money because their purpose was not to rob, but to conquer the impregnable safes, to write their names on the golden board of the world's super thieves. At this moment, Brad K. appeared in a cool manner, rushing straight into the bank. He deliberately caused a commotion to distract the employees. Sebastian quickly returned to the restroom and sneaked out of the bank under the cover of Brad K. Wendelin also returned to the vault from the vault. The group ran away like ghosts, completing the mission spectacularly in suspense and excitement. However, this robbery immediately attracted the attention of Interpol. Seeing familiar faces on the surveillance cameras, the police chief immediately recognized that this was the criminal gang he had been following for a long time. He did not expect that they would dare to show up in Paris. With his extensive experience and keen intuition, the police chief deduced that the real target of the robbers was Han Wagner's safes, and that this was related to the mythological tetralogy, the Zing of the Enbel Lung. Thus, the police chief had the key to solving this mystery. He quickly guessed which safe the robbers would target next. A tense and dramatic confrontation was about to begin. Not long after, the group of super thieves appeared again in Prague, Czech Republic. This time, their target was the Valky safe. Little did they know that they were walking into a dangerous trap. Interpol had already set up a net around the bank, waiting for their prey to fall into it. For the super thieves, this was an unprecedented challenge. This bank was no ordinary bank. It was heavily guarded like a solid fortress, with every corner hiding deadly dangers. However, that mysterious safe is like a giant magnet that strongly attracts Sebastian, making him disregard the danger and embark on this thorny path. However, as soon as the steel door opened, their hearts sank when they saw two security guards standing guard. The atmosphere became extremely tense, but Wendelin did not hesitate. She was lightning fast, taking down the two guards in the blink of an eye. Wendelin's clean and decisive attacks left Sebastian in awe. Finally, they stood before the mighty and powerful safe. Sebastian opened the phone, the majestic melody playing like a prelude to the legend that was about to be written. He told Wendelin about the content of the myth, the Ring of the Nibelung. It was a colorful story. Every detail contained a magical charm that captivated people. Sebastian was sure that the way to unlock this safe was based on the order of the myth. Then they would repeat it from the beginning, like solving an ancient puzzle. Meanwhile, the task force was still waiting outside the bank without detecting any suspicious signs. The police chief felt extremely angry and worried. With his sharp intuition, he judged that the robbers had started to act. He immediately led the task force to rush into the bank, determined to arrest the robbers. At the same time, the bank's security staff also noticed something unusual on the surveillance screen. They were horrified to see Sebastian using his finger to open the iron gate. The security team leader immediately realized that their system had been hacked. He did not hesitate to press the alarm button. All the exits of the bank were blocked, leaving Sebastian and Wendelin trapped in a life-or-death situation. Brad Kett decided to execute Plan B. He quickly armed himself, donned a mask, and rushed to the bank to rescue Sebastian and Wendelin. When the sheriff led the task force into the bank, they were stunned. The safe here was not Han Warner's safe. It turned out that the bank management had secretly moved it to a more important branch. The sheriff hurriedly led people to the branch. Brad Kett, like a ghost, used a tranquilizer gun to knock out the security guards. He quickly controlled the bank lobby, distracting everyone's attention so Sebastian could open the safe. Sebastian took a deep breath, put his ear to the lock, closed his eyes, and slowly turned the knob. Every move he made was extremely careful, as if he were playing the notes of fate. Only the faint sound of gears turning rang in his ears. Sebastian thought everything would go smoothly as before, but just when he was full of hope, the knob suddenly retracted into the safe, as if the silent guard had realized Sebastian's intentions. This unexpected incident stunned Sebastian. Countless speculations flashed through his mind. Sebastian decided to close his eyes, trying to feel the internal structure of the safe, as if groping for a faint ray of hope in the darkness. But then a miracle happened once again. The knob suddenly popped back up. Wendelin witnessed this scene with a stunned expression, unable to believe what was happening before his eyes. Sebastian sternly said that if he made another mistake, the safe would be locked forever. He did not expect that the internal structure of the lock was much more complicated than he had imagined. Sebastian understood that this was his only chance to conquer this safe, and he had no way back. He focused his mind and put all his effort into deciphering the safe. At the same time, Brad Kett was trying to control the situation in the lobby. Every second was tense and dangerous. When the security team leader discovered the abnormality on the surveillance screen, he did not hesitate to immediately press the alarm. The shrill siren sounded like the call of death, signaling that the police would soon arrive. Time passed by every second. Sebastian was still racing against time to unlock the safe. He turned all the knobs in the order of the myth. Each turn was like a gamble with fate. But then, all three knobs retracted at the same time, like three cold blades stabbing straight into Sebastian's heart. He was so nervous that he almost suffocated. Wendelin anxiously asked him what happened, but Sebastian had no mind to answer. He walked closer to the safe, like a lone warrior entering a battle. He closed his eyes, slowly turned the lock, praying for a miracle to happen. Time seemed to stop, space seemed to freeze. Finally, after a long tense silence, Sebastian used all his strength to pull the safe door open. He miraculously succeeded, as if luck had smiled on him at the last minute. A dramatic and legendary end to this breathtaking adventure. However, the pressing time, Sebastian decided to unlock the safe while the transport vehicle was running. This was an impossible task, as difficult as ascending to heaven. The mysterious safe was like a solid fortress, exuding majesty and fear. It had 7 knobs, each knob like a difficult pass to overcome. This meant that the difficulty of unlocking the lock had increased to an incredibly complex level. But in Sebastian's eyes, this safe was like a unique work of art, exuding charm and challenge. Its exquisite appearance and complex structure were like a mysterious treasure waiting for him to discover. Without further hesitation, Sebastian immediately set to work unlocking it. He seriously instructed Wendelin to try to keep the vehicle running smoothly. Sebastian still kept his usual style. He calmly took out his phone and turned on a majestic and exciting song. The powerful melody rang out in the narrow space of the car like a prelude to a great adventure that was about to take place, creating a special ritual in this tense atmosphere. Then, Sebastian warmed up. He stretched and rotated his joints, each movement filled with strength and rhythm. After warming up, he bent down and put his ear close to the lock. Sebastian slowly closed his eyes and gently turned the knob with his hand. The world seemed to quiet down at this moment. The small frictional sounds emitted were like the gears of fate quietly moving. At this moment, Sebastian was concentrating hard, feeling the internal structure of the safe as if he was chatting with this mysterious friend. He frowned, seemingly listening to the small sounds coming from inside the safe, trying to find clues to unlock it. But no one realized that danger was quietly approaching, like a wild beast stalking its prey. Brad Cage, who betrayed Sebastian, was now anxiously searching for Sebastian and Wendelin outside. The reason he vowed to find them before the police arrived was because Sebastian was the reason his group failed. Moreover, Sebastian had also stolen his lover, Wendelin. Brad Cage could not bear this anger. Then an idea suddenly came to him. He asked Brad Kett to check Wendelin's satellite location. This suggestion was like a glimmer of light in the darkness. But just as Brad Kett took out his phone, the wheel of fate turned once again. Karina suddenly discovered Brad Cage's whereabouts on the computer. This discovery made everyone surprised. They were so close to each other, as if fate was deliberately teasing them. Karina did not hesitate and immediately got out of the car to check the situation. But at this moment, Brad Kidd's phone suddenly showed Wendelin's location. R immediately drove after him. Karina wanted to stop him, but it was too late. She was worried and quickly took out her phone to inform Wendelin, but fate played a trick on them again. They were suddenly surrounded by a group of police officers. In the dire situation, Karina quickly sent a text message to Wendelin, "Run." Then, she raised her hands and dropped the phone on the ground. But because she was afraid that the police chief would see it, Karina quickly kicked the phone under an oncoming car, making it impossible for the police chief to find its location. Wendelin received the message immediately. She panicked and informed Sebastian that they had been exposed. By this time, Sebastian had already opened 4 locks. Wendelin urged Sebastian to speed up. The police, like experienced hunters, set a trap by offering an attractive condition. They would take care of Karina's younger brother in exchange for Wendelin's location. Meanwhile, Brad Kett and R were driving at breakneck speed, full of resentment and unwillingness, rushing towards the car carrying Wendelin's safe. Sebastian struggled to turn the 6th lock. The light of victory seemed to be right in front of them. But ironically, fate once again teased them. Ahead was a continuous curve, bumpy and winding. Wendelin turned the wheel sharply, accidentally causing the lock to shift. Click, hard. When Sebastian tried to turn the knob, it did not budge, as if under a spell. In a life-or-death situation, Sebastian decided to take a big risk. His eyes shone with determination and courage. He silently prayed for a good outcome. Sebastian slammed his hand on the lock. Time seemed to stop at that moment, and then the lock seemed to be awakened by a mysterious force. It automatically returned to its original position. The gears inside slowly moved, emitting a melodious sound like melodious music. Sebastian once again miraculously unlocked the lock. At that moment, Sebastian was extremely happy. The joy exploded like a tidal wave. He felt like the whole world was praising him. Sebastian was worthy of being a new generation of master lockpickers. Wendelin stopped the car at the foot of the mountain. The surroundings were unusually quiet. The whole world seemed to be waiting for something. In Sebastian's heart, indescribable emotions welled up, both touched and sad. Finally, Sebastian understood Han Warner's loneliness. Han Warner had spent his whole life creating great works. Those mysterious and sturdy safes were like works of art, containing his passion and intelligence. But no one truly understood and appreciated them, nor did anyone understand his outstanding talent. Sadly, in this noisy and bustling world, his masterpieces were forgotten like buried gems. Therefore, Han Warner decided to lock himself in the Goddard Dam Room safe, sinking to the bottom of the ocean with it. He carried his pride and loneliness, choosing a way to leave without regret, to say goodbye to this world, a world that did not understand him. Sebastian at this moment had deeper thoughts about life, about art. He opened the safe with a complicated mood. Inside were piles of cash that made people dizzy, but they were not blinded by greed. Just symbolically taking 2 bags of money, they understood that money is not everything and greed only brings disaster. As the two were about to leave, a huge storm suddenly broke out. Brad Cage appeared like a demon from hell, silently pointing a gun at them. His cold eyes were filled with madness and coercive possessiveness. Brad Cage asked Wendelin to return to him, but Wendelin was not afraid at all. Her eyes were filled with determination and contempt, even mocking Brad Cage. Brad Cage felt humiliated, flew into a rage, pointed the gun at Sebastian and pulled the trigger without hesitation. But the unexpected happened. The gun jammed. Sebastian was scared out of his wits, but Brad Cage did not give up. He loaded the gun and fired another shot, but the result was the same. He could not have guessed that Wendelin had removed the firing pin of the gun beforehand. What a heart-stopping joke. Fate is like a dry leaf blowing in the wind, not knowing where it will drift. Wendelin immediately pulled out a gun and pointed it at Brad Cage. It turned out that she was afraid that Brad Cage would harm innocent people, so she secretly disabled his gun. After that, Wendelin tied Brad Cage and R to the car carrying the safe. She took Brad Cage's driving money and left with Sebastian. Brad Cage was furious. He swore to kill them himself, but he might never get the chance again. Wendelin and Sebastian had barely left when the police arrived and quickly found the safe. The sheriff couldn't believe how easily he had caught the criminal who had shot him in the ass. Fate's twists and turns were unpredictable. Wendelin did not dare to be careless. She drove at high speed as if racing against fate. They arrived at a coastal town. Both of them hurriedly got out of the car with bags of money in their hands like trapped animals, trying to escape the trap. They ran towards the pier, hoping to get on a boat to escape and start a new life. But just when they were happy that they were about to be free, fate once again dealt them a fatal blow. The sheriff suddenly appeared right behind them. Both of them were stunned. Despair and fear enveloped them. Not accepting her fate, Wendelin pulled out her gun and pointed it at the police chief. The atmosphere became extremely tense. A life-or-death battle was about to break out. The police chief glared and shouted, demanding that Wendelin put down his weapon, but Wendelin did not flinch. She decided to negotiate with the police chief. She spoke with a resolute voice, demanding that the police chief release Sebastian. She insisted that the person the police wanted to arrest was her. Sebastian was not a criminal. He was innocent in this matter. If the police chief did not agree, she would fight to the death with him. The police chief pondered for a moment, carefully considering the tense atmosphere. In the end, he had no choice but to accept Wendelin's request. Sebastian was deeply moved, filled with helplessness and resentment. He did not want to abandon Wendelin and run away alone, but Wendelin quickly comforted him, promising that after escaping, she would definitely find him. Together, they would conquer the Goddard Dam Room safe. Finally, Wendelin's eyes lit up with determination. She shouted loudly, urging Sebastian to leave quickly. Her voice was filled with determination and hope. Sebastian couldn't bear to leave Wendelin. His eyes were filled with pain and helplessness. Every step he took was heavy. He kept turning his head to look back at Wendelin as he boarded the boat, his heart filled with sadness and worry. Wendelin kept her promise, so she accepted being arrested. The police chief took her away, and Sebastian was lucky to escape safely. In the moment of life and death, Wendelin finally used her freedom to exchange for Sebastian's life. What a noble sacrifice. Many years later, Sebastian opened a locksmith shop, living a peaceful life. Time passed by smoothly like water. The terrifying memories of the past seemed to have been buried with the years. But then, on a normal day, two mysterious visitors suddenly appeared at his shop. They brought with them the blueprint of the Goddard Dam room safe. The blueprint exuded a mysterious, strange charm. They wanted Sebastian to join their group and help them unlock this mysterious safe. And Sebastian, at this moment, once again felt his heart stirred. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching the movie. What do you think of this movie? Please comment below.